Welcome to UPSC Vinod. Mains 2026 expected questions தான் நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். So now we are going to discuss a question about Aravalli Range. The Aravalli Range plays a vital role in maintaining ecological security in northwestern India. Okay, so Aravalli Ranges plays a vital role in maintaining ecological security in northwestern India. Discuss the significance and critically examine the implications of the Supreme Court's 2025 scientific definition for its conservation. So Supreme Court has been defined Aravalli in a scientific manner. ஸோ அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி அதை எக்ஸாமைன் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஆரவல்லியோட கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக்ஸ் என்ன, அதோட ஜாப் என்ன, ஸோ சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் ரீசெண்டாக சொன்ன அந்த டெஃபினிஷன் என்ன, ஸோ இதை தான் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு பார்க்க போகிறோம். ஸோ protecting the Aravalli range. In November 2025, Supreme Court adopted uniform scientific definition for Aravalli Hills. See, this is a uniform scientific definition for Aravalli Hills. Any landforms rising 100 meters or more above the surrounding terrain is called Aravalli Range. That's all. Any landform rising 100 meters or more above the surrounding terrain is called as Aravalli Range. This is based on Supreme Court's definition. See, what are the importance of Aravalli Range? See, the ancient geology. See, among the world's oldest mountain system. So, everyone knows that Aravalli Range is a world's oldest mountain system spanning over 800 kilometers from Gujarat through Rajasthan, Haryana to Delhi, peaking at Guru Shikhar, 1722 meter on Mount Abu. See, this is a geographical definition. See, world oldest mountain system, 800 kilometers range, starts from Gujarat, ends to Delhi via Rajasthan and Haryana. The highest peak of Aravalli Range is Guru Shikhar on Mount Abu. Next, desert barrier. It acts as a natural wall against eastward expansion of Thar Desert. So, this Aravalli Range acts as a natural wall against eastward expansion of Thar Desert into northwestern India. Checking dust storm, desertification. So, it also checks the dust storm and desertification towards eastern side of the India. It restricts the extension of desert towards up to western part of the Aravalli. Okay, next, water security. See, in semi-arid belt receiving 500 to 700 millimeter rainfall, 500 to 700 millimeter rainfall, it functions as a major watershed dividing the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea drainage with slopes and foothills critically for aquifer recharges. So 500 to 700 millimeter rainfall, though it is minimum, it acts as a water security for those people who are dwelling around the Aravalli range. Biodiversity heaven. Host 22 wildlife sanctuaries and 3 tiger reserves, sheltering the tiger, leopard, Indian wolf, sloth bear, and great Indian bustard along unique Saharan Peninsula Oriental mix. So, this Aravalli range has 22 wildlife sanctuaries and 3 tiger reserves, sheltering tiger, leopard, Indian wolf, sloth bear, great Indian bustard. Okay, pollution sink for Delhi NCR serves as a natural dust and pollution sink supporting air quality control and microclimatic regulations of National Capital Region, acts as a pollution sink in Delhi NCR region. Economic and mineral wealth, holds over 70 commercially valuable minerals like zinc, lead, silver, tungsten, marble, granite, with Rajasthan accounting for about 80% of the range. So it holds these many numbers of valuable minerals. Cultural heritage, home to UNESCO sites like Chittorgarh, Kumbhalgarh, and sacred centers such as Pushkar, Ajmer Sharif, Ranakpur, reinforcing its civilizational values. So cultural heritage இதுல இருக்கு. So see, starts from what are the importance: geological importance, world oldest mountain, desert, world oldest mountain and the highest peak of Guru Shikhar at Mount Abu. So it ranges from Gujarat to Delhi via Rajasthan and Haryana. Desert barrier. It stops the eastward expansion of desert. So and water security, it receives 500 to 700 millimeter of rainfall. Acts as a water security. Biodiversity heaven, 22 wildlife sanctuaries and three tiger reserves. So home for tiger, leopard, wolf, sloth bear, great Indian bustard. Pollution sink. So far Delhi NCR. Economic and mineral wealth, cultural heritage of Chittorgarh, Kumbhalgarh, so Pushkar, Ajmer Sharif, Ranakpur. So next, what is the new definition called new 100-meter definition? So Supreme Court gave new 100-meter definition. So it introduced uniform definition to objectively regulate mining, construction, and conservation across the Aravalli. To regulate the mining, construction, and conservation activities across the Aravallis. Aravalli Hills, any landform raising 100-meter or more above the surrounding terrain, measured from the local base, not sea level. See, not sea level. Clearly, they had mentioned present the local base. So, local base is 100-meter above போகுது 100 meter or more than above போகுது அப்படின்னா it is called Aravalli Hills. Aravalli range, two or more hills within 500 meters of each other. Two or more hills of 500 meters of each other, it's called as Aravalli range. So, intervening slopes, valleys, and small hillocks. Excluding area retains only general non-Aravalli specific protections of EPA, FCA, EAA protected area overlap. So, retaining only general and non-Aravalli specific protections. Earlier practice, only Rajasthan 2002 State Committee report had formal definition based on same 100-meter local relief criteria. So, earlier means Supreme Court level அந்த டெஃபினிஷன் இல்லைனாலும் ஸோ அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு இந்த 100-மீட்டர் லோக்கல் ரிலீஃப் கிரைட்டீரியா டெஃபினிஷன் இருந்தது. பட் இப்போ சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் என்ஃபோர்ஸ் பண்ணதுனால இட் பிகம்ஸ் மேண்டேட்டரி 100 meters. What is Aravalli Hills? Any landforms from 100 meter or more above the surrounding terrain, not from the sea level. It is from the surrounding terrain. Clearly they had mentioned. So this is called Aravalli Hill. Issues with the 100-meter definition. See, இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் ஆர்வலி ரேஞ்சஸோட இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் பார்த்தோம், 100-மீட்டர் டெஃபினிஷனை பார்த்தோம். இப்போ அதோட இஷ்யூஸ் என்னன்னு பார்க்க போகிறோம். எக்ஸ்க்ளூஷன் ஆஃப் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த லேண்ட்ஸ்கேப் அண்ட் இன்டர்னல் ஃபாரஸ்ட் சர்வே ஆஃப் இந்தியா assessment shows 100-meter threshold excludes over 90% of Aravalli system. Again, this excludes over 90% of Aravalli system. This is a first lacuna. So, first issue, threat for expanded mining. So, area outside the definition becoming vulnerable to mining, construction, urban sprawls, rising reversal of decadal conservation. ஸோ இத்தனை வருஷம் ரொம்ப வருஷமாக அதை கன்சர்வ் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்ததை இப்போ இந்த டெஃபினேஷன் ரிலாக்ஸ் பண்ணி விட்டதுனால த்ரெட் ஃபார் எக்ஸ்பான்ஷன் ஆஃப் மைனிங், இக்னோரிங் எக்காலஜிக்கல் கண்டினியூட்டி. The peak centric definition overlook ecological role for foothills, valleys, connecting ridged, and that makes Aravalli as a continuous system. ஸோ எக்கலாஜிக்கல் கண்டினியூட்டியை வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இக்னோர் பண்ணுறதுனால, ஏன்னா அது பர்டிகுலராக ரேஞ்சஸ் அப்படின்னா 2 or more hills, டூ அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி வருது. ஸோ பர்டிகுலர்லி 100 meters எபோவ்ங்கிற மாதிரி வருது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இடத்துல வந்து which are below the 100 meters will comes under the landscape. So ignoring the ecological continuity. Groundwater risk. Distributing low hills and slopes, crucial for rainwater percolation, could lower the water table across Rajasthan, Haryana, Gujarat, and Delhi NCR. So this could have distribution of lower hills and slopes. Accelerated desertification. A weakened barrier could lead to Thar advance eastwards, intensifying dust storm and undermining India's UNCCD commitments. So desertification increase ஆகிடும். ஸோ இப்போ ஆரவல்லி ரேஞ்சஸில் ஏதாவது ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ் ஈடுபடுறது மூலயமா ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ பாசிபிலிட்டி ஆஃப் increasing of desertification. Enforcement gaps. Without comprehensive mapping and strict oversight, the definition risk creates loopholes that make illegal mining and sand mafia harder to curb. So self-explanatory. So definition ப்ராப்பராக இல்லாததுனால ஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ஓவர்சைட் பண்ண முடியாது. அதனால இல்லீகல் மைனிங் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும், சாண்ட் மைனிங் மாஃபியாஸும் ரொம்ப அவங்கள ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் பண்ணுறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக போயிடும். சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் ரூலிங் இன் 2025. மைனிங் பேண்ட் மைனிங் in violates areas around protected area, eco-sensitive zone, tiger reserves, wetlands. allowing exceptions only for atomic critical strategic 7 scheduled minerals under MMDA Act. So, freezing, freeze on new leases, direct a temporary ban on fresh mining leases in defined area until ICFRE prepares for management plan for sustainable mining. Content of plan must identify non-mining zone, strictly regulate area, sensitive habitats and corridors, assess cumulative impacts and carry capacity, and prescribed restoration measures. Calibrated approach, recognizing that blanket bans fuel illegal mines. The court allows strict regulation existing regulates existing mining while permanently protecting the ecological sensitive areas. Okay, so these are the Supreme Court ruling: mining bans, freezing on new lease, content on plan, calibrated approach. Other steps initiative. Ministry of Environmental and Forest restricts 1990s restrictions of 1990s limited mining to sanctioned projects, though weak state enforcement led to large-scale non-compliance. Supreme Court ban 2009 imposed blanket ban on mining in Faridabad, Gurgaon and Mewat district of Haryana. 2024 prohibition barred fresh lease of renewable across the range, directing the Central Empowerment Committee to examine the issues. CEC recommendations 2024 called for complete scientific mapping, macro level environmental impact assessment. No new lease until mapping assessment are completed. Aravalli Greenwall Initiative proposed 1,400 kilometers long and 5 kilometer wide green belt targeting over 1.1 million hectares of degraded land by 2027 to curb dust storming. So, what is the way forward? Scientific mapping, curb illegal mining, ecosystem restoration, control wind erosion, landscape level of protection, honor global commitments, community participations. See, scientific mapping undertakes standardized mapping of hills, slopes, valleys, recharge zone, wildlife corridors using authoritative datasets with graded risk-based mining. Strengthening enforcement, drones, satellite images, CCTVs, e-challans, district task forces to dismantle and sand mafias. Ecosystem restoration, restore the degraded forest land, grassland and mined areas, reviving indigenous water system like Tankas, Jahalras and Talab Bandis for watershed management. Stabilize sand dunes and gap areas with specific species like Cali- Caligonum acacia to check dust storm desertification. Landscape level protection, protect Aravallis to continuous ecological system as a continuous ecological system rather than isolating peaks, safeguarding foothills and connecting ridges. Honor global commitments, align restorations with the UNCCD New Delhi Declaration, Bond Challenge, Land Degradation Neutrality, and Paris Agreement obligations. Community participations, embedded local communities depends on rainfed agriculture and livestock restoration, linking ecological health rural livelihood. See, this is one of the most important expected questions for this year mains. ஸோ கண்டிப்பாக ரிலேட்டடாக கொஷின் வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்புகள் நிறைய இருக்குது. ஸோ தேங்க்யூ, கீப் ஃபாலோயிங், கீப் சப்போர்ட்டிங் யூபிஎஸ்சி வினோத்.